Arsenal, West Ham in midweek. We conceded first, but after that it was just about what the doctor ordered. Character, goals for key players and confidence too.
Yes, we kept our nerves with 1-0 down, and I believe that there was a strong, silent resilience and nerves there when we were 1-0 down, because we didn't let them disturb our game. We responded quickly before half-time and overall a good control in the second half with a convincing win. You could see that the lift we got from winning on Saturday in the semi-final had an influence on the psychological and the mental front, because we had much more serene attitude, and that came out in the game.
It's odd, isn't it? Because everyone would have said Arsenal were tired. I had 120 minutes and penalties. It was the second half when we came on strong.
We became stronger, and it shows you that the mental aspect is maybe more important than the physical one, because had we lost on Saturday, we'd certainly have tired legs, but the fact that we won gave us a big lift. And I must say as well that the players who have not played on Saturday physically contributed well, like Karlström, Giroud, and Koscielny, for example. They were fresh, and that helped as well to refresh.
Olivier Giroud reached 20 goals. That's a landmark for a striker and important for him at this crucial time.
It is, because for a while he didn't score, and it was on his mind. He came in at half-time with a feeling that he missed a clear-cut chance that he should have scored. And he did not only score in the second half, but he scored a great goal. I think there's everything that a striker wants to achieve in that kind of goal. Good first touch, protect well, good shield from the opponent, and finishes with the right foot. He did that very well.
29 years, 188 days. That was the average age of your side in midweek. It's unusual for an Arsene Wenger side. We associate you with youth.
It is very unusual, yes. Unusual enough that you notice it. And it's just a coincidence, because of course Karlström came in and our midfield suddenly with Rosicky, Karlström, and Arteta was a huge weight of experience. But at the end of the day, what is important is that Arsenal wins. And we show as well that we can win games with an experienced side.
Experience is important at this time of the season. Everton against Crystal Palace in the week. They looked very strong going into the game, but they were surprisingly beaten. Could you argue that experience, not age, but experience, is a protection against the influence of pressure at this time of the season?
It helps to deal better with pressure. That is for sure, because you know better what is expected, and you can focus maybe in a more efficient way just to express your potential. But it shows as well that what we have learned since the start of the season is that the Premier League this season, anything can happen at any moment. And that's why what is vital, I believe, is prepare well for your next game, because that's what it will be a battle. And so that experience can help as well to do that.
Mesut Ozil's close to a return, maybe involved in the weekend squad against Hull. How big a boost would it be to have him back?
It's important to have him back because he is an offensive player who is important in the final third. He's still the most assists, you know, and therefore he can put our strikers in good positions. And that link between the midfield and the strikers is important.
Hull away at the weekend. They look pretty safe in mid-table. They've had a good season overall.
They had a good season, of course, because they are in the cup final and they are safe in the Premier League. And that is remarkable for a club like Hull. And so we know that again, you know, they have done well, I think, at Christmas, because they brought in Long and Jelavic, who have done well for them, and they have a good offensive force.
Everyone will talk about this as being an FA Cup rehearsal. Can you draw any conclusions, given that the likes of Long and Jelavic might not be...
No, because a cup final is a cup final. I think what is at stake there for us is is not the cup, is a Premier League, but is of course vital for us. And we want to grab this opportunity we have on Sunday and forget absolutely completely about the cup final.
Steve Bruce, a manager you know well, you've loaned a lot of players to him in the past. Back in the top flight again, looks to have kept up Hull. He's a manager you can't keep out of the top flight. He takes upsides a lot.
No, he is a football man. You know, he was as a player and he is as a manager. He has a remarkable career, and he has done remarkably well with Hull, and everybody would agree with that, I think.
The player I wanted to talk about is Curtis Davis. He had a very good season for Hull by all accounts. He's their captain. He's still only 29. He went for £3 million at 20. He went to £8 million. He went for £8 million to Aston Villa in his early 20s, and they seem to go off the radar.
Yes, I think he was injured for a while as well. He had bad injury. He was a young, promising defender, and I'm not surprised that he's coming back now with experience. He physically always been very strong, and he was a bit impetuous when he was younger. But when you have that drive when you're young and you mix it with experience, you become efficient, I think, later in your career, and that's what's happening to him.
How important has this week been for you with Wigan and what's happened to Everton, Arsenal's win?
Look, every week, as you know, is now massively important. And as I said just after the game against West Ham, our capacity to focus just on the next game without imagining any consequences is the most important thing now. That's where experience can come in. Just focus on your next game and play as well as you can.
Is that it now? Because you've got a few days before this game, but after that it's a week between individual games, isn't it?
After, yes, it's the schedule is clear, and for us now is to prepare well for this Hull game and hope we can win it, and then we can of course have a more regular preparation.